Hi, class 1 and 2. Well, it's time for topic. It's Thursday and it's topic time. Now then, in our topic, we're doing a history topic. We're learning about the past. And we will, believe it or not, be learning about the Great Fire of London eventually. This week, we are going to be thinking about London. So we're going to be thinking about modern London, what London is like today. Have any of you been to London? Have you been on a trip to London? It takes a while to get there, doesn't it? But there's lots and lots of interesting things to see in London. And London is so special because it's our capital city. And that's where the Queen lives. She lives in London, doesn't she? So London is a really, really important place to us because it's the capital city of our country. So here you can see a little map of our country. This is Great Britain and it's an island. So the green bit is the land and the blue bit around it is the water. We live on an island and that red dot, that's where London is. Right, we were looking at timelines, weren't we, last week? And you made a timeline. And here's a timeline here, but this is a timeline of the days of the week. So this is a timeline of 1 week, and you can see the labels above that say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now we can also have a timeline of years. And down here, I've got some years labeled below on my orange timeline. And the first year says 1900. Then it says 1950. And then it says 2000. And then in the blue, it says 2021. And that's the year that we're in now. That's the present year that we're in now. And the past goes down the number line, and we call that the past. It goes down the number line, and if we go up the number line, it's the modern day, it's present day. Right then, in a minute, I'm going to show you some pictures, lots of pictures actually, of London. Now, you might recognise some of these pictures. You might have actually been to London and seen some of these things I'm about to show you. So what do you know about London already? Bet you can name some buildings that are in London. Now, when we look at this picture, this is what I want you to look for. I want you to look at the houses and the buildings. I want you to see what London is like at night time. Let's look at what the roads are like, what the transport is like. Can we see any people? Do we know what types of jobs they do? And anything interesting that you see. So I want you to really use your eyes and just look at these pictures really carefully. Okay, we want to see what these pictures tell us about London today. What's it like today? And how is it the same to where we live? And how is it different to where we live? Okay, are you ready to look at these pictures? Let's have a look at the following pictures of modern London. Oh, what is this picture? What are those funny lights that we can see? Well, this is a picture of Europe. We live in Europe. At night time, taken from outer space. And can you see all the bits that are light, that are like white? Those are the bits that have lights in the big cities. So where you can see lots of white, that's going to be where the big cities are because there are lots of lights, like street lights and lights from buildings. And it glows and makes the sky bright, doesn't it? And we can see our island where we live. I'm going to see if I can get my mouse here. Let me see if I can get my mouse. I might even be able to draw on the screen. Oh, here we go. Here's my laser. So this is our island just here. And so London is about where the red dot is just now. And can you see it's very bright? And that's because lots of people live there. So lots of people have got their lights on. Okay, this is a picture of London. What can you see? What types of things can you see? There's a big river, isn't there? This river here is called the River Thames. The River Thames. What else can we see? I can see lots of bridges. How many bridges can you see? Can you count the bridges? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that might be one just there. 6. Lots of bridges across this river. I can see busy roads, really busy roads. Lots and lots of buildings. I can see boats on the river actually. Can you see boats on the river? And I've just spotted something else. I wonder if you recognise what this is here. We might be able to see that later. Have a little look at that there. Oh, this is London at night, isn't it? What's it like in London at night? It's very bright, isn't it? I can see so many lights. It's very bright. There's a beautiful bridge. And can you remember what the river's called? It's called the River Thames. The River Thames. Ah, here's a beautiful house. It's a lovely house, isn't it? What's this house made from? What are the windows like? Is it a big house or a small house? It's a lovely house, isn't it? Ah, this is another building that we might see in London. What's this building, do you think? It's a block of flats, isn't it? Where people live. It's very tall and lots of people will live in those flats. Ah, here's the City of London, right in the town centre. I can see a double-decker bus. I can see some black taxis. The roads seem quite busy, don't they? We've got busy roads and lots of vehicles and people about. Do you know what this is here? This is the London Underground. Have you been on the London Underground before? I've been on the London Underground and it's quite fun, isn't it? It's like an underground train and it goes through tunnels and it goes really, really fast and it takes you from one place in London to the other place, but it's all underground. Oh, this is the London Underground again, isn't it? If you've ever been there, there's lots of escalators and lots of people queuing up. Now we're going to be looking at some very famous buildings. Do you know what this building is called here? The big tall one. That's Big Ben, isn't it? Big Ben. It's a very famous building and a very, very old building too. Do you know what this building is? This is where the Queen lives. This is Buckingham Palace. A beautiful palace. And you can stand outside the gates and have a good look and see if the Queen's in. I think if the flag is flying, it means that the Queen is in. So when this photo was taken, it means the Queen was there. So we can say, hello, Queen Elizabeth. Look at this tall building. It looks so tall compared to the other buildings around it, doesn't it? It's like it's reaching up into the sky. And this building is quite a modern building and it's called the Shard. The Shard. Now, the building we're looking at in this picture here is this one here. It looks a little bit to me like a space rocket that's about to blast off into space, but it's actually called the Gherkin. And it is a little bit shaped like a gherkin. If you've ever seen a gherkin before, it's a type of food like a pickle that you eat. And it's called the Gherkin. It's an interesting building, isn't it? Oh, there's a close-up of the Gherkin. Can you see it looks a little bit like a space rocket? I don't think it is, though. Right, now here we go. This is the picture that I was pointing at earlier. I'm wondering if you knew what it was. Do you know what this is called? It looks a bit like a fairground ride, doesn't it? It looks like the big wheel, but it's actually called the London Eye. And I've never been on this eye because it's a bit like a bear ride because you can actually go for a ride in one of the pods around the outside. Around the outside, just around here, they're like little pods and people can go in them and the wheel goes round very slowly and you get a really good view of London. And this is what one of the pods look like. Look how high up you can go and you can see the River Thames. You can see the whole of London. It would be amazing. Right, this is your task for today. This is what I'd like you to do. Okay, I would like you to choose a landmark in London, something famous, a famous building. We usually call them landmarks, and I want you to draw it. So you can look for a picture on the internet to copy, or you can just go back on this video and pause the video and then copy one of the buildings. You might choose the Gherkin. You might choose the London Eye, or the Shard, or Big Ben, or Buckingham Palace, or it might be you can think of another famous landmark or building in London that you would like to draw. Now take your time with this drawing. I don't want it rushed. I want it to be quite a detailed drawing. Okay, and if you want to colour it in, you can colour it in as well, but it doesn't have to be coloured in. What I'm looking for is a more detailed drawing. So in topic today, we're kind of doing a bit of art, aren't we? So I'm looking for those lines, lots of lines, maybe a bit of shading with your pencil. So your challenge today is to choose a famous landmark in London and to draw it on a piece of paper. Take a photo of it and then put it on your Seesaw journal for me to see. Okay, children, whilst you're looking at pictures, just try and describe it. What does it look like? What's it made from? And see if you can use lots of describing words. Okay, children, have a good day. Have a good drawing time, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.